favorite color is green. I know, very basic.
No, green's great.
Um, my question is, what was your favorite moment when recording for the Code White movie? Also, smart guys, can you please get Alex to come out here to the Midwest? Please.
No, we're 0 for 2 on Alex being here specifically.
Yes, specifically here, yeah.
He had plans to travel before we booked this show, so
Yes,
unfortunately
so
it just was...
He's having a lovely weekend off with his wife, so...
Yeah, how dare he go...
Boo! How dare he have fun! Boo! Let's see, a favorite Code White. Overall, I think what was really fun was once the movie was all done. Because if you've seen the movie, you see like all the family starts together and then they go on this big thing and you have the big climax of the movie and it's like each character goes off and does like their own separate thing and then they all come back together at the very end and save the day, whatever. Basic movie things. And what was really fun was when we got to go to the premiere of the movie in LA and none of us had seen the other parts of the movie that we were not doing. So I'm sitting there going, Natalie's like, what did you say? Something like, oh yeah, the robot. And I went, what do you mean the robot? Because I forgot there was a robot man in the trailer for the movie. So I was like, what robot man? What is going on in your part of the story?
And her entire scene where she has a vision, I had no idea that was coming. I showed up for a session at one point and they had the line count up and I had seen, and I turned to the director and I went, Chris, what is the poop god? And he goes, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. And so I'm sitting next to Natalie at the premiere going, I can't wait for you to see this. I can't wait. And it was glorious on the big screen.
It was wild. I was like, oh.
Such beautiful animation for toilet humor. I love it.
My cousin took my 97-year-old grandpa, the man who lays carpet in Green Bay, Wisconsin, who's never seen anime a day in his life.
Go support Natalie.
Love it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, I love it.
Hi, my name is Moritz. My favorite color is turquoise, and I'm from Minneapolis.
Lots of turquoise and teals.
Yeah, we're good company here.
Only one purple. Boo. It's fine.
And purple's still a pretty good color.
Yeah, I'll convert everyone. It's fine. Yeah.
My question is, especially given how much all the characters are hiding from each other, what does the show say about, family and these kinds of relationships?
Yeah, it's a good one. You have a great answer for this.
I really like that the show has a strong sense of family being able to support each other and communicate well, and that the definition, like the Forgers are a found family, the epitome of found family, where they had to come together and had to pretend to be a family, and they spend all this time freaking out and being like, do we look good enough? Like, are we doing family right? Do they believe that we are a family? Have we fooled the world that this is indeed a family unit? And it cracks me up that a lot of the episodes where they're out being a family, a lot of times they go out setting out trying to do one thing, and then shenanigans occur, and they end up having to scrabble and figure out how to solve the problem together. And usually by the end of it, they've kind of dropped the facade a little bit of like, we are a good little family walking down the street and we are wearing perfecly matching outfits and
real good.
we enjoy high quality entertainment in the city. And normally by the end of it, they're like falling apart and they're like out of breath and their clothes.
They feel like they're absolute failures.
Yeah, or they had to jump in and like save someone. But I love how the show keeps reinforcing that whenever that happens, then usually they're like, oh man, this day was a bust. We tried to, go to the opera. We tried to go to the aquarium. And they're like, man,
nothing worked.
Nothing worked out. And then inevitably someone goes, what a wonderful family you are. What a great job. And it's usually because in the process of them having to solve whatever shenanigans, the facade drops and they are themselves and they are embodying what they are good at.
And wouldn't you know it, they actually care about each other.
Right. So I love that the show kind of has that message, that the importance of family is a unit where you are all embodying who you are and acknowledging each other's strengths and supporting the weaknesses, and that that's way more important. And go figure, when you have examples of like what a traditionally defined family would be, like say the Desmond family, you see
They got a lot of problems
you
going
see,
on.
season 3, y'all, is gonna be a real Lulu when they start showing up.
They're
Like, so,
crazy.
yeah, so I think it does a really good job of approaching family from that perspective, so I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm from Minneapolis, a small little town called Brooklyn Park. My favorite color is cyan.
Ooh, two science. All
Two
right.
cyans here. My question more specifically is between the dynamics between Boyd, Anya, and you specifically, especially in your internal dialogue. Like, yours has a really funny moment where it's like, I can't really tell you what I'm telling you what I'm telling you for a living. That's just one of my first favorite lines. Like, how do you guys record those internal like monologues with each of you guys hearing like previous dialogue with cast members? Like, what is your overall general thoughts?
Yeah, it really depends. So a lot of times all the time, we record by ourselves. And so we go in individually and record. So it just depends on who's the first person to record that week, who's the last person to record that week. So like sometimes I could go in and be the very first one and there's nobody in there. So I'm just kind of recording in a vacuum. Now we do watch like the Japanese, like the scene in Japanese before we record it in English. So we still like kind of get a feel of like what it's gonna feel like once it's all put together. But yeah, a lot of times we're just by ourselves. So if we're the first one in, there's no one else. If you're second, there's probably maybe a few other people. And if you're the last one, great, you get to hear everybody. So yeah, that's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, you normally you get what's called pre-roll, which is the amount that plays before the recording starts happening. So we usually get about 3 seconds of pre-roll where we're starting to hear what happened 3 seconds immediately preceding when you start talking. So sometimes we'll hear that bleed over
and sometimes,
of the mental.
And sometimes if it's like important, or if you're in the middle of a very long monologue, sometimes they'll be like, hey, play the last 2 cues. Or like they might play a little bit more in certain circumstances, but for the most part it's like 3 seconds. So.
Yeah, and yeah, they might give us like the full context of the previous line, but yeah, normally it's like 3 seconds. And like logistically too, we do record usually the mental lines in order with the regular lines. So you might say something and then you might switch to kind of your internal monologue. So like for Yor, normally she's kind of, still a little anxious and talking, and then I'll get to her internal monologue and you have to be like this, and yeah, anyway, so
sure,
kind of
sure,
like
Lloyd, I'll go grocery shopping. Oh my God, he hates my guts.
Yeah. So we won't do that stuff in order unless there's like, sometimes there's overlapping where your mental line, so sometimes you'll record slightly out of order, but we don't really mix things up too much unless there's like a technical logistical reason we have to.
Or they like overlap so significantly that you have to do them like, okay, we're gonna do the talking first and then we'll record whatever's going on over that.
Like sometimes there'll be like a mental line where they're thinking something, but then they're continuing a conversation underneath that, and you can hear just a little bit of them
I bet
talking.
Alex has to do that a lot. Cause
Yeah.
Twilight is the guy he'll be like having a conversation while thinking about 600 possible outcomes that will all fail. He's a genius. So he probably has to do that quite a bit.
And then with that, you'll normally do either the underlying dialogue all the way through and then go back into the mental line, or vice versa. It just depends.
Yeah. Good questions. I love it.
Hi there.
Hello.
My name is Ethan, and
Yay!
And I was just wondering how many takes it took for you guys to get through the dodgeball scene, just because it was so ridiculously funny.
It was pretty great. I love Bill, what's his name?
Bill Watkins, actual 6-year-old.
Yeah, Bill Watkins, actual 6-year-old. And they got Jared Green to do his voice, and that is just the most perfect. That man has the bassiest voice you've ever heard. He's
And then hearing him go, Papa.
Papa. So great. We love Bill.
One of my favorite running gags.
Yeah, I love it. To be fair, I think we got through most of it. A lot of times whenever we have to like redo something, or like whenever Chris would make me redo something, it was because he said, and we would both go, not funny enough, and we would do it again. So it wasn't even like, he didn't have to tell me. I was like, no, again, that was not good enough. Or it's like, sometimes she's being such a weirdo and her mouth is doing weird flappy things that I might have to redo something just to kind of get things to line up a little bit better, a little cleaner. I have not taken this dinosaur off this whole time. I hope you appreciate this. Yeah, and so we probably did I also loved the big, I forget what she says, but her big like, Starlight, yeah, and she throws a dodgeball and it goes 2 inches, and you're like, you poor thing with no upper body strength. We're so alike in that way. And so I think a lot of it is just kind of like, make it funnier. It's just make it funnier or make things line up a little better because her mouth is just doing some weird, crazy thing, she's being a baby. So yeah, I think it didn't take too long, but yeah, it was fun though. It was really fun. Anytime I get to do like Anya being like, go, I'm Starlight Anya, go! And just screaming and yelling, and there's like sparkles everywhere in her imaginary head. It's my favorite. So yeah.
My favorite color is lime green, and I wanted to ask, what is a line you say to help you get into character when you start recording?
That's a good one. I don't know. I just show up, and I just go in, and they're like, "Do you need a reference, Megan?" And I go, "Nope." And then we go, and I go, "Yay!" And then that's it. At this point, it's just she is me, I am her, we are one. I've assimilated.
Yeah, the way a lot of sessions, especially more so, I mean, anime usually has this, and if you've been away from a character for at least a few seasons, it usually helps. But what they tend to do is they go to your first session, and the engineer will make a copy of a couple of your lines. So that way, if they need to play a reference for you, they'll play that reference, and we'll listen to it. Sometimes you can repeat afterwards, like some, especially for the gaming sessions, a lot of times they'll be like, here, we're gonna play a line, you repeat it back to us, and we'll do a couple. So it's not necessarily like we have specific phrases or sayings. Really the only time I have to do that is when I'm doing certain accents. Sometimes I have like specific phrases, like for my for a Swedish Scandinavian. There's a TikToker I like. And her name is Cecilia, and she lives on an island close to the North Pole called Svalbard. And she has a dog named Grim, and that's how I get into my Scandinavian. Because I have to remember her little intro. Hi, my name is Cecilia, and I live on an island close to the North Pole.
North Pole. I love that. That's amazing.
So it's usually stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that. One time I got asked. Here's the fun story. I got asked to be.
Oh, wait, what, for German, too, there's a comedian, and she always does her German mother, and she goes, Laura.
I don't know, it was a few years ago, and it was another season of Hitalia, and it was just this season of like, what year am I in right now? Because why do we have more Hitalia right now? Like, what are we doing? What's happening? Am I in middle school again? I don't understand what's happening right now. But I did not submit an audition at the time because I was busy, but then I get a text because it was Chris who also directed Spy Family, and so he was directing Italia, and he texts me and he goes, Megan, will you please, pretty please, submit an audition for Czech, please? And I went, okay. This means one of two things has happened. They got no auditions for Czech, because everyone went, I can't do that, because you have to talk in the accent, because that's what Italia is, like, it's ridiculous. Or they got auditions and they were all not good. So, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get something to you by the end of the day. And the next thing you know, here I come, Miss Czech. And I looked up, like, on YouTube, I had to look up, like, what does Chuck even sound like? And I was literally just like, I found this guy talking, he's like, I am from Chuck, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just had to talk like him, and that's really it. That was the secret sauce, and then I went, okay, all right, got it. And I can't tell you what that voice is, because I put it in my short-term memory bank, and I did that show, and then I threw it out. So, because I figured, when am I ever going to talk Chuck again? Watch in like 10 years and be like, more Italian guys!
You literally, it's so funny that you say this, because I was in Salt Lake City last weekend with Alex, who plays Lloyd, and someone came up and they said,
Oh, he was in Italia too.
yeah, and someone came up and said, what's the hardest character you've ever had to play? And he's like, I don't necessarily know if anything's like super hard, but he's like, I think it was like, what character do you like playing the least or something? And he's like, it's not that I don't like this character, because I think, is he like Finland or something like that?
I think something like that.
Yeah, he's
one of those
somewhere like Northern European,
Northern
countries.
European boys.
And he's like, and this is a character, he's like, this character shows up maybe once or twice a season when they do bring Natalia back, and I have to come in and struggle to remember a Finnish accent for 2 words, maybe. And he's like, it's not like, he's like, I don't hate it, it's just like, it's not like a fun process, because you're sitting there, it's so technical, and you're like, what is this character, who is
And you have to, but then it's Italia, so you also have to be stupid and funny.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like, do the most technical thing you can possibly do, while
And then-
also being entertaining. And you're like,
it's like lull random humor with,
lol
with
random history
incredibly
humor.
technical accent work.
Yeah.
Go.
Ready, set, go. It's so funny. But yeah, those are tough, but yeah. Good question.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Dinosaur intermission.
Hello.
Dance break.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Michael. My favorite color is blue, and I live in Minneapolis.
Fun.
And what is your favorite Spy Family episode?
I also really love the aquarium episode.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
one,
I mean,
too.
I love, clearly, stuffed animals. I get to voice all the stuffed animals, and it's so fun. My other favorite thing is getting to voice Anya's version of Damien. Basically, anyone Anya imagines in her head, and then I get to do stupid versions of those characters. It's really great. Oh wow, Anya, you're the best in the whole world, Anya! That's my stupid Damien voice. I love it. Do you want to come to my house and play with my dog? So honestly, anytime I get to do that, that's the best. But yeah, I love the aquarium episode because, I don't know, there's just lots of good stuff. It's like you watch this whole season, you kind of get to see the big climax and the big ending, and then you get to have this nice fun little episode at the end of that season where it's like, nice little break, little fun snack, you know?
I mentioned the 2 that I really, that are some of my favorite stuff to have done. I also am very partial. I loved when Yours brother comes over for the first time, and how
That boy.
between your Lloyd and Yuri, none of them know how to be like normal human beings, but they're all pretending at each other that they're being totally normal.
Yeah.
This is how you be normal, and they're all so bad at it in different ways. So that's why that scene is so funny to me, because they're all like badly acting normal at each other,
Yeah.
and it melts down in all the funniest ways. And I love just how they all try to call each other out, and it just just falls apart. It's so funny.
Yeah, and then Anya's just sleeping the whole time. So
The whole time.
I didn't even get to really be in that. I was like, okay, good night. And then that's it. Okay, go
I
home,
love
Megan.
there was like some scene where I can't remember if it's after the slap, but Anya just kind of sits up and
Oh,
like,
she was
"Huh?"
like, what's it?
And then goes
What's
right back to
happening?
bed.
And she's like, yeah. That was great. I love that face. Her sleepy face is so underrated. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good face. I wish we saw it more. Yeah. Hello. Sorry, I know this person. Hi.
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 Hi. I'm Kurai. My favorite color is lemon chiffon, which is a pastel yellow color.
Lemon. The color of this dinosaur.
It's a lot lighter.
Yeah, a lot lighter.
And I'm from
Close.
here in Minnesota.
Yes.
And my color, my question is, what is your favorite voice acting moment in all, not just in Spy Family, from across your career?
Oh. There was a time where I did a show, and it's called, I want to say it's No Rain. I don't know if anyone knows that show. Never say never. So there's always like one random guy that's like, yeah, and they're like, shout out to that guy. You know?
Thank you.
Thank you. You know. But anyways, it's about this. It's like this show. It takes place. It's like cute idol girl moves out to the country but doesn't tell everyone she's the cute idol girl. But then like one boy there is like her super fan, so he's like, she looks just like Rena Chan or whatever her name is. And of course he's like losing it. But I play this like snobby know-it-all girl, and what's fun is when I auditioned for that character, Mike McFarland directed it. When I auditioned for it, my inspiration was to do my best Rarity from My Little Pony voice. Very snobby. And it worked. I got the part. And so I voiced this snobby girl, and it's like an agriculture school, because like they're in the country, like big, like I mean they just it's an agriculture school, high school, like that's all they do, because they do not live in the city. And so my favorite line is like they're trying to explain how flowers like work to this city girl, and they're trying to explain like, yeah, the pistil and the stamen and the thing and this and the flowers, and this is how it works. And I don't remember the context necessarily. I just know that's the only context I remember. But I said a line that, because they were like trying to explain like how flowers pollinate and fertilize and like unfertilize and like whatever, and I got to say, it's like an egg wearing a condom. And I thought that was really funny. And that was the most insane thing I've ever said. And I'd have to go watch the show, but I don't remember the context past. They were talking about flowers, and I was like, what is happening right now? But you know, it was kind of crazy. So it was good. It was good times.
There's so many times in your career where you just kind of record something and then you stop and go, I got paid to say
I got paid to do that.
That was my job
That's
today.
a thing I got to do. Yeah.
Those are great moments.
Those are good ones. Yeah.
Favorite moment voice acting. I mean, a lot of times I'm like, what's your favorite character you've ever voiced? And I'm like, the boring answer is it's yours, because like,
it is.
the show is like it's kind of just in its own.
It's in its own stratosphere. It's
yeah,
its own
in
thing.
terms of like significance to my life and my
Yeah.
career and everything. I mean, the moment when I came in, because Yor doesn't show up in the first episode, so coming to record episode 2, which was very centric around her, and getting to the end where we do the proposal scene, and like watching that and getting to then perform that, I remember I was just kind of sitting there like, this is real and this is really good, and I'm this character's voice now, like in the English, and I'm like, I'm doing something incredible. Like you can have this sense of like this profound weight that this is very important and this is going to change my life, and you don't know how yet. When I first was cast, or even was just auditioning and thinking about the show, in my head I was like, oh, if I book something like this is, you know, kind of a, Shonen Jump shows tend to be a little bit bigger and have a nicer audience. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if I got to go to a convention once in a while too. You know,
Once in a while.
Once in a while. I
Here we are.
20 plus a year now.
Flash forward.
Yeah, so I completely underestimated how big it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be significant. So that first moment in the booth playing her and like that weight settling on, I mean, will always be really special. Working on My Hero also too was a really big milestone moment. One of the major reasons is I've known Justin Brennan, who plays Deku. We both started our careers at very much the same time and in the same kind of sphere, so we did a lot of early work together. And so when he got cast as that part and his career really took off, it was incredibly like exciting to see someone who I had known from that very early point hit that incredible level. And I was like, finally, everyone knows how amazing Justin is because he's really incredible. He's just such an incredible actor. And I was like, oh, good, finally, everyone else can see it now. And then I was like, oh. And I started watching My Hero to support him and went, oh, this is also a really fun show. And then the more I watched it, I was like, oh, I love the vibes, I love the energy of this show, and I love the fight scenes too. So I kind of just was like, boy, I really hope I get to participate in this series in some capacity. And my big one wish is, I was like, I don't care who I play, I just would love to be a character that gets to feature in one of these cool fight scenes. And if you've seen the Star and Stripe fight, I won the lottery, basically.
Yeah, you did. I've never wanted something so badly in my life. And I was like, well, you fit the vocal type to a T. So I'm hoping, and then you were like, Megan, I got the audition. And I was like, good, this is all going according to plan for you. And then you were like, Megan, I got it. And I was like, yes! It was so funny watching you like as that character. You're like, Megan, if I ever have a chance to be in this show, this is it. This is my moment. And I was really happy you got to have that moment.
It meant so much to me, so that was also really cool.
Yeah. Hello.
My name is Joseph.
Hello, Joseph.
I live in Minnesota, and my favorite color is gray. And I want to ask, what's your favorite line in the show? Or any line that you enjoy doing? I always prefer, was it when Lloyd and Yor are always having a touching moment, and Anya calls them out for flirting.
Mama,
yes.
No, we're not. Yeah, they are.
Those are great.
Sure are flirting, whether they know it or not.
No, well, again, they don't know what they're doing.
They know,
Bless them.
they know
So
nothing. So silly of them.
I'm quite the fan of how polite Yor is when she asks to murder people. Like, can you imagine someone be like, no? But she's like, well, I know. I don't have a follow-up for that. She's got flashcards somewhere where it's like, oh wait, I didn't.
Can you imagine how anxious she would get? She'd be like, I didn't expect that. Oh God. Like she would have
Just anxiety. Immediately.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me. She would have a meltdown.
But I'm very fond of her. May I have the honor of taking your life this evening?
I like the line, look, I can see her boobies! And then poor Lloyd is just like, please, I just want to be a fancy family. We need this plan to work. And Anya's like doing everything in her power to not make it work. It's pretty great.
Drowning on dry land.
It's fine. Welcome to having a child. I told this story last night to Natalie and a couple other people, because I also have a child now. She's going to be 2 in October, and I picked her up from daycare the other day, speaking of like how unpredictable children can be, and usually we get in the car, and she's like, Bluey, and I'm like, oh, you want to listen to Bluey music? You want to listen to Bluey music? Yes. Okay, great. I got in the car with her, and I said, want to listen to Bluey? No. Okay, what do you want to listen to? I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh no, what are we? And then she's just saying something. It's not even a word. I'm trying to translate here, and there's no translation tool to help me. It's just that's it. I was like, I was like thinking, oh God, what can I put on that she won't scream at me? Because if I don't guess right, oh, it's over. This car ride is so over. And I just put on some random song that's like, put your finger on your head and your leg and whatever, and she loved it, and that's what we listened to for 15 minutes. This 2-minute song for a whole car ride. Kids are so unpredictable, and I love that. And Lloyd needs to get on the same page. Yikes, he missed that part of parenting school apparently. As the books come out, you read it as like the app. So you read the chapters as they come out each week. So I guess at least for us, it's more like, are there any things in the manga that you read it and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to do that. I hope it stays the same. Because that's really more, I think, what it would be for us. Because by the time we get it, the writers have already, it's pretty much what it is. But yeah, for the manga, I remember when we first started the show, I had read all of the manga that was out. And so I was like, well, I hope this goes really well, because like the manga was so funny, and I was just reading it and I was laughing, and I was like, this is like one of the most enjoyable mangas I've read in a very, very, very long time. It didn't really feel like a chore to read it. And so I was like, oh, I really hope this goes really well. And so when we started doing the show, I was so amazingly happy that like everything was like shot for shot. You know, it's kind of like, why reinvent the wheel? You know, it's like,
it is really genuinely impressive how
Yes.
faithful the show is
It
to the manga.
really
Like
is.
it is, like they may add a little bit to it, like the castle.
yeah, the whole
episodes.
castle episode, I mean, that's a whole episode that they made from like 3 pages. But it's like they know when to expand upon a concept and when to like keep it pretty like faithful, you know, like it's just really good in that sense.
Now, am I remembering correctly? You guys did kind of come up with some extra little things to sprinkle in terms of like Anya's way of like mispronouncing words.
Yeah,
though?
yeah, because sometimes they're written into the script, like when she mispronounces words, but sometimes we're like, oh, that word seems like a big word. I can't remember if psychiatrist was already in the script or not.
I think that one might have been. Wasn't there something like with the? I think the police officer.
Police officer, yeah, police officer is pretty good. Yeah, I love that. I love it so much. I think sometimes that's what we do is like we only did it like a very small number of times, so it's hard for me to remember which ones we did and which ones were already there. So, but yeah, I love how faithful it is. It's so good.
Is there anything you're looking forward to getting made? Speaking of the stuff that we are looking forward to.
Ooh, yeah, because there's more coming in October. Yay! And so I need to catch up with the manga because I have a few volumes that I'm behind on.
I need you to get on the same page with me.
Listen, I am on the same page with you. I see the spoilers. I don't mind seeing the spoilers. But there is a whole arc that happens at school, and I'm very excited for that because I know bits and pieces of that. So I'm very excited for that because that's crazy, wild. I was like, wow, we really. I won't say what happens or what I know, but like I remember seeing like screenshots of the manga and being like, this is a school, why is this so dark? Like, jeez, oh my god. But yeah, I'm very excited because I don't know how many episodes the new season's gonna be. I don't know what arcs and how far they're gonna get into these arcs. So I'm very excited. So yeah, I hope we get to see the school stuff.
My name is Josie. I'm from Buffalo. I'm very very excited. And my question is, did you have fun voice acting?
Yes, so much fun. I mean, it's probably the most fun I've ever had. I get to be the one that just comes in and like, it doesn't matter what's going on in the episode. I just get to come in and be like, whatever. And meanwhile, like Natalie and Alex are in the booth being like, doing all this serious stuff, and I'm like, Anya's like rolling around on the floor. So that's me. I just get to be silly. Even when she's like trying to be serious, she's still kind of silly because it's like, who draws ketchup on the wall? She's like, yeah, I'll leave a sign. I'll tell Papa, and I'll save the day. And she just draws ketchup on the wall, and you're like, okay. Good job, Anya.
You need to work on that penmanship.
She's got to work on that handwriting. It's something. So yeah.
Lots and lots of fun. It's incredibly, when you get a show that is as well written as Spy Family and has as many like aspects to it, so it'll have the comedic moments, but it does have the serious moments, and it can be heartfelt, and it can be incredibly poignant, especially it even has some very interesting commentary about what war, especially like a prolonged Cold War, does to people. So it's it's when it's so well rounded, you find it's fun but also very fulfilling. So for me, that's where Spy Family kind of checks all those boxes. I probably have the most fun working on the show whenever you're drunk. Which is always a good time. I do not get drunk for those scenes. I have been asked that many times. I'm a little worried about you guys.
Like, guys, there is like an HR department.
Yeah. We
They don't just let us drink booze. In the
It's not like you open the door and there's like a bottle.
Here,
of
you
liquor.
have to drink this bottle of whiskey right now against your will. And it's like,
The director's sitting there like, shot.
Yeah, like, no, that's not what happens. Can you imagine?
I had really awful pneumonia one of my earlier years in college, and I got some very insanely powerful medication, which I have come to find out I apparently do not. I might be like allergic to it because of the way I reacted to it, but it basically made me so loopy that I kind of almost reference that, because that feeling of being loopy and kind of almost out of body is kind of what I see Yor doing when she's drunk. Because if I have a glass of wine, I'm like, good night, and it's kind of like melts lower and lower. So I'm not particularly fun when substances are involved. I just kind of get gooey and then go to bed early. So I'm more reference. So I'm more reference pneumonia medication.
Woo!
to get there. No,
Don't drink alcohol.
it was not fun. There was like a version of me like hovering over myself the whole time, like, oh, please be
Poor
normal.
baby.
Please calm down.
Poor thing. All right.
Yellow.
Hi, Dan.
And the final question of this panel is, what is the first thing you do when you get home from a convention?
I do nothing. I go to sleep. Bed rot. Bed rot, and then maybe if I'm lucky, I'll have like a Monday off or something afterwards, and then I just sleep endlessly.
Very, very early on, Ian Sinclair was like, take the Monday off. Always take Monday off.
And then there's me right now who has no choice.
Yeah,
So I'm going back, and I'm like, I have to go record the shows and do things, and I'm so tired. And then there's me, and I have endless amounts of Starbucks and caffeine. I'm like, please.
I will say one of my favorite things is that shout out to my wife, who will put all 3 of our chihuahuas in the car with her when she comes to pick me up at the airport. So as soon as I open up
I've been
the door,
chihuahuas this whole time.
you keep having to go get your car.
I know.
But I open the door and they all like jump out at me, and I'm like, baby. So that's great, and they're like.
That.
They know at this point that if it's like late at night and she gets her shoes on, they're like,
we gotta go. Airport. We're going to the car. I love to. I will say I do love the one part of like the traveling that I do love is like it gives me a chance to catch up on reading whatever book I want to read. Because again, I have a toddler and I'm not reading at home. Like I'm sitting on that couch and I'm not doing anything. Like reading, I'm not doing that because it feels so hard when I don't want to do anything. And so yeah, I do like reading on planes, so that is a good plus. But yeah, just do nothing.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming out for the panel. Make sure you stop by